Hello and welcome. We're back. This is round 2 of our Legacy FNM. Marcus, Graham, look, match has started. We're going to jump straight in.
We've got James O'Brien versus Justin Ventura.
Yep.
And they're both playing mid-range fair decks.
Yes.
So,
will be interesting. We'll see if we can jump straight in there. There we go.
yep. So this is Justin Ventura playing Nyalome, apparently. I believed it was Punishing Maverick. I may have been wrong. And James O'Brien playing
an Agrolome.
So James O'Brien, I believe, is on Nyalome, so it might be deck names were a little mixed up. Find out.
Yeah, it might be backwards. We'll just double check that. So we jump into this as quickly as we can, try and keep the
pace moving.
Prevent the coverage from slowing down the gameplay. It looks like they might be reversed. Yeah, so I think
so the names are on the wrong side, and the deck names are on
the
and Agrolome is wrong.
Either way,
we'll work on it.
Well, yeah, look, players might have sat down on the wrong sides.
James has played a Tarmogoyf on turn 2 and then proceeded to play Mox Diamond, not pitching any lands, just to make that Tarmogoyf a little bit bigger.
Interesting. Okay. Yep.
And that gets swords by Justin.
Yep. That's an expensive +1/+1 counter.
That's right.
It's a cool $80 +1/+1 counter right there. That's good. That's good. All right. So that gets that immediately gets swords. So the players are reversed, but so the players sat down the wrong side. The deck names are still correct though. They are Justin is playing Nyalome and James is playing Agrolome.
James is playing Nyalome and Justin is playing Punishing Maverick, but we may just have a different deck name for it. Oh, okay.
All right. So apparently that is the correct deck. Justin is playing Nyalome and James is playing Agrolome. So. All right, well, we'll see how we go. Bit of a confusion there, but we'll just let the decks do the talking. So there's a... So
that is a Sylvan Library.
Old Sylvan Library, Dried Arbor, looking at a Mother of Runes and a bird.
And we kill off the
Wasteland
Taiga.
Hits the Taiga.
And I believe that's a Knight of the Reliquary from Justin's side. So
okay.
That's a threat which we actually see on both sides of the board. And that's just going to be being used for value as far as I know.
Yes.
So Sylvan Library has an ability. During your draw step, you can trigger it.
Yep.
If you do, you get to draw an extra 2 cards. And then you can either put them back on top of your library or you can pay for life to keep them there.
Per card,
And that's just... a lot of card advantage in a single card.
Yes.
And just
at a cost of life, though.
At a cost of life, but in the matchups where they're not doing damage to you, it just does a lot of work for you.
The Maverick will present a board state, though, that they will present creatures that are going to be doing damage.
That's right, and that's both sides of the table, really.
Yeah,
they're just going to be gumming up the works a little bit with the creatures, and... there we go. James cast Green Sun Zenith for 1. Just shortcutting a little bit and not finishing off that fetch till he's finished with the Green Sun.
Yeah, just saving himself a couple shuffles there.
So finds a Savannah, and then for 2 mana finds a Gadok Teeg, when he can no longer cast that same Green Sun Zenith. And we'll see what Justin does about that.
Yeah, so there's definitely some similarities between these decks.
So the main difference is that James' side of the table is running a Chalice of the Void.
Okay.
And that means that he can cut off some of the cheaper plays. He's very much not running very many 1-drops on his deck, whereas Justin is obviously heavy with swords. He's got Birds of Paradise. He's got Mother of Runes.
That was a big swing just there, and that was a Wasteland and a Swords to just cripple James's board, and then swing for 5 with my Knight. That was, that was big.
Yeah, doing a lot on his side, and we can see that James has a Council's Judgment, and that's just going to get rid of that Knight of the Reliquary through the Mum, even because it does not target it chooses. So he tries to get around it anyway, and they choose it anyway. So that particular trick does not work.
So Justin. So Justin knowing the interaction there, he tried it and was told no, as he knew.
You can sometimes try and slip a pass.
Yeah, why not, right?
But both of these players are quite experienced with what's going on here.
Not a bad play there from James. Now means he was quite far behind board in terms of board state, but doesn't feel as bad now, given there's not a 5/5 knight. Is that the third wasteland?
That is the third wasteland.
Jeez. All right, so James still in an okay spot. The Sylvan Library definitely giving him some amount of filtering there on his draws, able to see 3 cards, pick at the very least pick one, or if not, draw all 3.
Yeah, and it's just showing the advantage of the card at the moment. Justin's stuck on a land and a Batterskull that he's not casting for at least another 2 turns if he draws running lands, and James is getting to pick the best of 3 cards every single turn.
Despite being triple wasteland at this point, he's actually ahead on land. There's a very nice top deck there of another knight. So that's Knight of the Reliquary number 2.
Not something that you can really complain about.
No, so that is pretty big right now, right? That's a 6/6.
That's right, and James fires off a Barbarian Ring. Gives it pro-red, even though it does nothing.
Even though
because Barbarian Ring is obviously a colourless
source. Yep.
And this is the second or third turn in a row that James has seen nothing but land off the top of that Sylvan Library.
Look, at some point you need to take. I feel you should just take the 8 to get those 2 cards off the top of your library.
Well, he has still been drawing fetch lands, so at the moment we're just going to shuffle them away. And he's got
he has been cracking the fetches as well, which is relevant. So yeah, just getting a little unlucky there on what happens to be on the top of his deck, or he should just get better at shuffling. I'm not sure. One or the other. So Justin back in the driver's seat again now with a very large Knight of the Reliquary. And that is possibly an equally as large Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, so we're just having a quick count. There's 4 lands in Justin's side of the board. We have an artifact, land, creature, sorcery, Swords to Plowshares, instant. There's a 5/6 Goyf versus a 5/5 Knight.
Is it a 5/5 Knight or a 6/6 Knight?
It is a 6/6 Knight. Sorry, +4/+4 on the 2/2 body.
Yep.
It's currently ahead.
So it's ahead by 1 now. James has no way to shrink that. It'd be cool if he had some sort of trick to remove one of those lands and get a cheeky block in there. But at the moment, it would be an unfavourable block. He would lose his Goyf.
Justin in choosing instead to go and find possibly the 4th wasteland. Yep. There it is. And we're going to cut you off the red mana. So down to just white and green there.
Yep. Batterskull resolving there too, very relevant. So there is a large germ in play.
Yeah, so we see double Punishing Fire, and I believe it was an Ajani Vengeance, so that's in the main deck.
Interesting.
That's one of the versions where I've switched to the 3-color over the 4-color loam. We've just got a little bit of more grind options in some Planeswalkers. So
the Ajani giving you a lot, immediately giving you 2 options when he comes into play. So we have a die on screen. That's our land counter. So currently there are 6 lands in the bin.
That's an 8/8 Knight.
That is an 8/8 Knight of the Reliquary. So obviously, I assume most players know what it is, but basically, Knight of the Reliquary, 2/2 body. For every land in the graveyard, you gain +1/+1. It also has another ability that you can tap it and search your library for sacrifice a land. Sacrifice a forest or a plains, and then go and get another land from your library.
Yep, so that's put James down to 9. Had a quick look through his options. If he takes the Ajani now, can't actually cast it, so it does nothing. I was about to say he could tap down the Knight, but that's not an option.
So I think he's hoping to hit the land, play the Ajani, tap the Knight, and then have the Tarmogoyf play defensive duty against the...
Even doing that, though, at the moment, if Justin equips the Batterskull to the Knight, giving it
he's obliged
vigilance, then it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, of course.
Because Ajani doesn't tap things down; it just keeps them tapped.
Tapped. Yeah, so his window to tap the Knight was last turn. Interesting. Now, you have to
jump with the Tarmogoyf here.
Yeah, you just have to chump, right? Like
We've got, it's a 9/9,
It's
so
a
it's doing
9/9.
the whole life total.
Knight of the Reliquary, so that is a
very scared looking Tarmogoyf.
that is a Tarmogoyf.
And I would
being-
assume that the Battleskulls are attacking at the same time. I might
Yep.
be wrong.
Should be? No? Not sure.
Yep.
Just a knight.
Nope, just a knight. So comfortable not going beyond.
Not overextending. Now, I'm curious why he...
Yeah, it does have
decide-
vigilance, so it doesn't seem to do a lot. So he's got a life from Loman there, not that it's going to do a lot either.
Yeah. See. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't have attacked with the Vigilant Germ there, but...
And cast life from the loam. So I'm guessing he's going to get the Dryadabor back. Yep, there it is. So gets back the Dryadabor, and that allows him to have a chump block for another turn against that knight.
Yeah.
And I believe he's got a Mox Diamond in hand, so this means that... Yep, that's right. He's got a Mox Diamond, so he can play that down, and that means that we can finally see the Ajani Vengeance being cast next turn.
Yep.
Justin just flashing that he has his Green Fairy there. Scrib Ranger, and that's going to get in there for damage. So, in case you don't know...
Yeah, we'll just grab an Oracle text on the old Scrib Ranger there. Oh, okay, so bounce a forest, untap a creature. Okay, so every turn you may bounce a forest to untap a creature, basically.
Yeah.
So, for instance, a knight can make itself bigger and then attack, and so on. Yeah. So obviously the combo with the knight being the ability to get a fetch land, crack the fetch, get bigger.
Yep.
All right. So we will continue with this. Our table 1 here as match 2 is sideboarding.
So well timed there. So James is currently taking out... Not 100% certain. So Justin has a lot of the smaller creatures on his side of the board, as we've seen, but it's also got a wide array of mana cost, so it's something where I think you'd be looking at taking out the chalices, even though he does have value out of the swords. Then...
All right, so what do we see here? That's
Justin taking out a Yumezawa Jitte,
taking out the Jitte creatures.
Swords to Plowshares, and a Scrib Ranger.
Interesting he takes out the Jitte. Is that not something that you'd like in this matchup?
I think it's okay, but there might just be some better equipment in the board or something similar.
Okay.
We'll just see exactly what he does.
Yeah. Interesting to see.
I think this something Justin's picked up fairly recently, so he might not be completely proficient with what the options are.
What's that last card that he grabbed there?
I think it was a Crossali Pride Mage, so just outside of the Sylvan Library, not that
taking
much
out
that he's
swords,
taking out. Yeah, so that's...
Interesting decisions there. I don't know if I agree with taking out of swords.
Yeah, so the Green Sun Zenith might just be a nod to the Gaddock that we saw early on.
Yeah,
And I think both sides of the table do actually have that. It doesn't really stop that much outside
I think you want your swords. I think like you're playing against a deck that's going to kill you with creatures. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
The loam aspect of the deck is more for the value. It's going to kill you with creatures.
Yeah, well, there's a Thalia that came out there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not so much the lock that you're going to be seeing on the other side.
Oh, interesting. Either way, so it looks like both players happy with the board with the cards they did board out. So we're shuffling up now for game 2. We'll have to see how this one goes. Hopefully, a little bit more of a little. Well, no, so, in fairness, there was a lot of back and forth there. Even game 1, it did get cleaned up by the second Night of the Reliquary, but there was definitely some back and forth before that happened.
So James is very well known for playing this particular deck.
Yep.
And has lots of foreign black blooded jewels in that one as well. As I said, Justin picking this up recently, though. More well known for playing Black Red Reanimator and some more combo style decks.
Okay. Yep. So both players not happy with their 7, going to go to 6. Yeah, shuffle it up. We'll see how we go. As you said, there's some expensive cards in the room.
Yeah, so Justin got a little bit lucky on that game, just having access to all 4 of his wastelands.
Yeah, seeing 3 of them. The fourth one coming off the night, but the first 3 definitely seeing quite early at top of his deck.
Yeah, and I just saw
helped him a lot.
While James was shuffling, he does have a Chandra Torch of Defiance, which he's bringing from the board. So
Cheeky Chandra.
The standard All-Star is also a Legacy All-Star.
It is a good card. It gives you a lot of options. That looks like a solid grip for both players.
Yeah, so James not really seeing that many creatures, but there is a double Life and Loan package there.
Yep.
Rise the bottom. On Justin's side, we've got a Mum, a Reclamation Sage, and I think a Mirran Crusader, but I'm not 100% certain.
Okay. So, on...
so it's a Stoneforge Mystic that we can see there.
So
we're just opening on a Mum.
Yep.
And
good start there for Justin. It's definitely a card you want to see on turn 1. Fetches the basic there, wants to protect himself from the Wasteland.
That's right. And so along with the 2 loams and the lands, James also has a Green Sun Zenith hiding in his grip.
Yep.
And he drew for turn. Can't see at the moment.
Can't see what he drew.
But I'll be saying that we're just loaming back, getting a little bit of value, getting that 1 land back.
Yep.
And that sets up the engine to get it going in the next couple of turns.
Yeah, he's going to get that loam engine running.
And both of the decks are running the Punishing Fire combo. So that's Grove of the Burn Willows, which lets your opponent gain a life. And Punishing Fire says if your opponent gains a life, you can bring it back to your hand. So they work quite well together.
Yep.
And Justin plays out a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, the punishing... Pardon me. Sorry, the punishing aspect of both these decks. Part of the namesake, but not necessarily always part of the win condition. Like, no. just it's in there, but doesn't have to be done.
That's right, and Justin goes for the Batterskull, so that Stoneforge wants to be dealt with quite quickly.
Yes, so James wants to deal with that. Stoneforge does not have to deal with at least for another 2 turns. Doesn't want to have to deal with the looming Batterskull.
But it is quite difficult with an active Mum on that side of the board. So he plays a Scavenging Ooze.
Scavenging Ooze, okay.
Which is a 2/2, pay green, and you can exile any card. If it's a creature, you gain a life as well.
Yep.
And it gets +1/+1.
Yep. Quite.
Yeah, it would be a little bit too powerful if it was doing it from board.
Yeah, just occasionally just exile this and that and this and that too. Be an Ugin.
An Ugin for green. I would play that card. I think a lot of other people would as well.
So Justin has the decision here. Gonna
wait to wasteland the green source, and I wouldn't be surprised if he immediately takes that same wasteland, and he does.
Yep.
Okay, I think there's an Ajani in James's hand, so we'll probably see that in the next couple of turns.
Going to be difficult though. If he gets it out sooner. Justin, I guess it's a strong card. The Batterskull kind of smiles at it.
It does, and we've once again got the problem whereby just Mum is protecting anything. So the biggest thing that it's going to be doing is just slowing down Justin's mana, but I don't think it really wants to be played in the next couple of turns at the moment. And James plays Life in the Loam and gets back that Savannah he just lost.
Yep.
Justin activates Stoneforge and
so this is
gets Batterskull.
End of James's turn.
That's right.
Apologies, I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. Trying to hide my yawning. So let's see. So Justin's
picked up his Life from the Loam as well. Won't do that much through the Scavenging Ooze because it will just immediately get
it will be removed.
But he does have obviously the advantageous board position, especially with the Batterskull just this early on in the game, and both players are quite low on mana. James is aggressively getting the basics there as well, just to...
Yep, so he's going to Life in the Loam, which I imagine is going to be removed.
Very soon.
Very soon at some point, probably the end. Oh, it doesn't have the green up currently. Apologies.
It doesn't have it this turn, but it's something that we'll be looking at next turn.
Tiger.
And we see what happens.
Yeah, so at some point during this turn, I imagine that'll be happening. Picks up a Horizon Canopy there, I think.
Yep. And did Justin not attack with that Battle Skull? Or did I just not see the life swing?
I'm not certain. Might just get confirmation. Yeah, okay. So he did attack. Wasn't immediately obvious to us, but he did attack. Did not gain the life.
Justin's life total has been updated.
Was not updated. So play is on James here. Considering some lines.
And looks like we're tapping 3 mana and Green Sun Zenith thing. So I would say that we're looking for a way to deal with the Batterskull. I don't know if there's a Rex Sage because that'd be an extra mana.
Pride Mage?
Possibly a Pride Mage, but we'll see what we get.
Yeah, not sure.
Obviously, the Pride Mage is able to hit the artifact, and that means that it plays around the Mother of Rune Protection as well, which is good. But we'll just see exactly what we get here.
Yeah,
and that's right. That is the Qasali Pride Mage that we've got.
Yep. So that'll... But it does mean that Justin, James does not have the mana to do both the Pride Mage and Exile the Loam this turn.
Yeah, so it's just a decision on what he does. Looks like he's decided to just slow play this here, so I wouldn't be surprised if he blocks with the Pride Mage and then...
Yep, there's no point showing your head.
You can't do both, actually.
So Justin actually choosing to just draw regularly and not dredge up the life and the loam. So
we're playing another interesting game here at the same time in that Justin has 3 mana up now, so he can just bounce the Batterskull in response to the activation of the Qasali Pride Mage.
Yes.
But obviously that requires him to keep up a little bit of mana if he wants to do that as well. So we'll see exactly what he decides to play with the mana he's just got. He does have a Punishing Fire in hand and did get the red mana for it, so that may hit the Scavenging Ooze before it's got the chance to grow at all.
There's some expensive lands on the table right now, I just want to point out. There are 3 FPVs on board right now.
Justin losing this particular competition as he's got 2 white-bordered ones instead of only the 1 black one.
Yep.
And there we go. We've got the Punishing Fire on the Scavenging Ooze.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
There we go.
Targets the Skoos. He has no way to... He's just going to get rid of the loam.
So he's going to eat the loam, just take the 4 damage on the next turn, and that means that he can sacrifice the Pride Mage on his turn.
There's no... currently, Justin has no way to get back the Punishing Fire, though, does he? He doesn't...
Not yet, so...
He has no way to force James to gain life. Justin is now unable to bounce the Batterskull as well, which is very relevant. So the Pride Mage will, I imagine, be doing some work against the Batterskull there. That will probably be happening sometime this turn, I imagine. No.
And tapping down, plays Green Sun for 3. We're going to be getting a Knight of the Reliquary most likely.
Interesting, he chooses not to simply...
we're just checking to make certain, and that's a Rex Sage. So
just going to straight up Rex Sage the... Okay, so Rex Sage the Batterskull, keep the Qasali Pride Mage in play. Do you agree with that line?
And I'm not sure where that line came from. Well, Justin's got a lot more creatures on the board at the moment, and this just means that James does have a chance to block.
Yep. Yeah, so the... he shortcut his fetch again. So he fetched, didn't get it, and then as part of in the same time that he was green sunzing.
Reaching its zenith.
At the same time, he grabbed the land.
That's right. So cutting him off red, so just leaving him with the 2 colors and a fairly good impersonation of a Maverick deck.
So yeah, this is been a battle. There's the second mum.
Yep, and just quite the slog we see here, as happens when you're pitting mid-range decks against one another.
Yep. They definitely
Yeah, but the board presence that Justin does have,
Battle.
Especially with the 2 active mums, means that...
yeah, the 2 mums is going to make it real hard for James to really interact with anything. The Thalia as well is, the first strike is very relevant in terms of creature fights.
Yeah, the first strike and the protection that it gains as well.
Yes.
Crystallia Privemage is giving Exalted to the field as well, though. So
okay.
James naturally drawing a Knight and playing that out.
Yeah, so the Knight is something here, but the protection that Mum can... there will be blockers.
There will be blockers.
There will be blockers.
So James does have the Dark Depths combo in his deck, so we may see him going over the top if he gets the chance with the Knight, because it's a little bit hard to push through on the ground at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, that is an option for him. It's a nice option to have.
It is, and Justin does, I assume, have a Karakas in there somewhere, but we just have not seen that yet either.
Yeah, we did see a Karakas definitely in the deck. So play is currently on James, just deciding... Oh, no, apologies.
Green Sun Zenith?
James played the Knight and passed, and then it was on to Justin. Justin is going to Green Suns, it looks like, for 3.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing a Knight battle.
Is he looking at a Scrib Ranger?
That's a Knight.
That's a Knight, sorry.
It's a different Knight.
Oh, different. Okay.
Yep, and just pausing on that Karakas there, but chooses to get the Scavenging Ooze that we just saw removed from the other side of the table.
So just keep
puts a Green Sun Zenith in the graveyard and picks it back up again.
Yeah, that's not what that card does. So he's going to get the Scoos here, which is to keep I imagine mostly to keep the Knight of the Reliquary in check.
That would be what I'd be trying to do with it. So that just sits there on the board, and we'll wait a few more moments.
Yeah, so...
we did see last game that James does have a Barbarian Ring in his main deck as well.
Yes.
He's only got the 5 cards in his graveyard, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go and find that with the Knight next turn.
For a green attack, that's... Yep,
taking 2 and going down to 9.
That's what that does.
So James draws a card with the Horizon Canopy.
Yep.
He is, however, missing a 2nd red mana source, so we can't activate a Barbarian Ring yet. So he's got Fetch Land, Green Sun Zenith, Ajani Vengeant.
Ajani still has almost no impact on this board, given the 2nd Mother of Runes in play.
No, not really. The best you can really hope is to cut up a couple of times and...
Can you bait the activation out of the 2nd Mother of Runes and then drop the Ajani?
Look, possibly, but it's still... You have to work through both of them. So I don't think any singular creature can be killed by James. So he needs to work out a way to get around that instead.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to go wide. So Justin already in this position where he's already wider than James, and James is only out, it would seem, to this board state is to go wider than Justin. So it, to me, feels Justin's in a very, very controlling point of this game right now. I mean, it doesn't matter how big the Knight of the Reliquary gets.
It can just go past it with Thalia.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's going to be a bit of an up and a down anyway, because the Scoos...
The Scoos is dead.
Oh, Scoos is now dead. There's a Barbarian Ring.
So uses Knight to get a red source, to get a B ring.
So our table 2 just got results. So Ben McCoy was victorious over
Jared Alsop. I believe there was Esper Mentor from Jared, and it would have been Eldrazi on Ben's side of the table, but it may be the other way around. I'm not 100%
Congratulations to Ben. So the Esper Mentor was defeated by the Eldrazi. Now,
which I don't believe that's how it played out in the Wizard storyline, though.
No. There's definitely the opposite. So interesting here.
Once again, we're beating into it a time with Thalia.
Yeah, that's a clock. Not a fast one, but it's a clock. The Knight of the Reliquary can't get through due to the ability to just infinitely block with the Mother of Runes. Interesting, though. So if he's able to swing with the... So my line here possibly would be to attack with the Knight of the Reliquary, force the Mother of Runes activation to block, play the Ajani Vengeant,
Okay, so it looks like James instead is going for a recursion on Barbarian Ring, maybe trying to shut down those Mother of Ruins, and if we can do that enough time, then it means that he doesn't have that protection option.
Yeah, so hitting the Thalia here is probably a great option for him.
Yeah, so we see Barbarian Ring come back. Barbarian Ring gets activated on the Mother of Ruins, and
you hit the Mum or the Thalia?
Well, we'll see what happens, but I think you want to hit the Mums just because he's going to keep attacking regardless, and so this just works around that.
Okay. Yeah, and he still does have the option. I mean, he's got the recursion, so he's got the recursion line of just simply bringing back Barbarian Ring enough times, which is reasonably slow. He does, as we said, he's got the Ajani in hand. He's got the Ajani in hand. I mean, maybe you do just hit the Thalia because, I mean, obviously the Thalia also slows down like adding the extra cost to the Life from the Loam.
Yeah, that's true. And Justin scoops it up.
Okay. Yeah, so Justin feeling that he wasn't going to be able to get around the recurring Barbarian Ring every turn.
It's interesting because I think with the difference in life totals, he was 20 life up. Obviously, he's still recurring that, but at some point, you might just hit your punishing fire and just deal that extra damage.
At the same time, I mean, there's 18 minutes left in the round. He recognises that even if he managed to win that game, well, it would have taken a lot longer, and if he did end up losing it, he's very likely to then draw that match. So I guess wanting to just give himself the best opportunity to win outright. Maybe a little premature.
Yeah, so we see Swords come out and Gaddock Teeg come out.
Once again, I don't agree with the Swords coming out. I mean, the reason you weren't able to just win that match was because you couldn't just Swords the Knight.
Yeah.
Like, you Swords the Knight there, you win.
Well, he had to deal with the Life from the Loam at the end. Like, obviously the Swords got there early on. Would have been better early on, but it was the Barbarian Ring once that was in play that.
Oh yeah, of course. But I mean, you still, if you're able to Swords the Knight of the Reliquary, there you can swing with the team.
Definitely.
And also, I mean, I don't know if Justin knows about it, but James obviously, as you say, is playing Dark Depths. The Swords is an answer to the 2020 Indestructible.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not sure I agree with boarding out the Swords there, but I am not playing. I'm definitely not a Legacy expert.
Yeah, a couple of cop rotations came out there as well. So I think what's happening here is that Justin is actually boarding around the Chalice of the Void. So that if James does get that online, then he doesn't get threats caught by it. But at the same time, I'm fairly certain that James has boarded it out. So once again, we've got a situation like we saw in the first game where they're playing around cards that don't actually exist.
Yeah, and I don't know. I still don't necessarily agree with boarding out cards that make your deck good because they might not be good in a certain circumstance that hasn't even yet arisen. I don't know. Either way, we'll see. So this is the final game of the round. Well, at least for our coverage. I'm not quite sure what else is going on in the room. But will be interesting to see. So both players looking at their 7. Looks like Justin got a... Yep, both players look happy with their grip. Going to keep those.
Yeah. So we've
Justin
got
on the play.
A Sylvan Library, Kasali Pride Mage, 2 Punishing Fires, and I think it's a Tireless Tracker.
And a Grove?
And a Grove.
Grove of the Boomwell, is
Grove with double fire. Sounds good.
That's pretty good.
And on James's side, we've got Swords, Punishing Fire, Land, Sylvan Library on both sides.
Yep. That's a good card. Justin in a good spot there with the double Punishing Fire and the Grove. If he can get Punishing Fire costing 2?
Punishing Fire costs 1 and a red. Deals 2 damage, and as I said earlier, pay red to return it to your hand.
Yep.
If they've gained light.
Yep. Pretty good combo.
Yep. So we've got the Sylvan Library Mirror.
Yeah. So both Sylvan Libraries coming out. Both the old art. One a strictly nicer border though.
Yeah. So we've got Italian Legends, which was called a Biblioteca, as they call it.
Nice.
And then on the other side, we've just got the white
the icky,
bordered.
The icky I don't know what edition that is, though.
It doesn't look like it's Chronicles.
I don't know. There's a 4th edition, apparently.
There was a 4th edition one, so doesn't even get a logo on it.
No.
So 3 mana, we're playing out the Reclamation Sage, and
there can only be one.
It's tempting to say that that's almost game with that card advantage on just the one side, but we'll see if
it could be
James can make a similar play.
It could be an issue here. Justin in a good spot. I mean, we know more than James does, obviously, given the fact that he's looking at 2 Punishing Fires, has the Grove in play already. He's in a pretty good spot here. Gets a bit of a tempo there, playing the Rex Sage, gets the body in play and removes the card advantage from James.
We've got Green Suns in it, and I will not be surprised if I see a Qasali Pyramage come out.
Boom.
And that is going to be destroyed by a Punishing Fire immediately.
Yeah, so that's a bit rough for James there.
Yep, so firstly we've got Thalia, Green Sun, and Fetch Land off the Sylvan Library.
Yep.
The quick look in his hand.
Takes
4,
gets
a Fetch Land and a Green Sun, and doesn't even care about that Thalia.
Seems fine. Get the Thalia later. Don't need it right now. So, as you say, I feel the correct line here is just to immediately Punishing Fire the
Pride Mage. Your card advantage source goes away.
Yep. There it is.
There we go. James gains a life and gets Punishing Fired.
Yep. That doesn't feel good. And there's the fetch. That's going to get, I imagine... Oh, no, so he's immediately just going to fetch away the doesn't want the Thalia in play.
So he's playing the two Punishing Fires at the moment, so having a Thalia in play just takes away that line where he's going to be recurring those every turn and recasting them, and it takes it from being a 4 mana to cast them to 6 mana to cast them. That's why we're seeing the Thalia disappear there.
And look, this is a very unfortunate game, I think, from James's side of the table. He's getting well and truly buried by relevant cards. That's a good one.
Yep. So we see Punishing Fire on the other side as well.
Yep. And the Goyf in play. How big is the Goyf currently? So we have land, sorcery,
enchantment,
creature. So it's a 4/5.
Simply a 4/5. And we've got the dice just to let us know.
Yeah, why not?
So that thing is going to sit there and block all day and doesn't really care about the Punishing Fires that Justin has.
I mean, you could get real cheeky if you're Justin and swing in and see if James blocks.
Well, he's just picked up a mum after losing 4 more life and another Fetch Land. So he's going to start trying to push some damage through. I wouldn't be surprised. He's also got a Tireless Tracker, which does a lot of work in this matchup.
Yeah.
It's going to get, once again, very big very quickly.
It gets big fast. So Justin just... I believe all of Justin's life loss has been 2 from his fetches and 4 from Sylvan Library.
I think we're up to 8 from Sylvan Library.
8 from Sylvan Library. Now he's going to play another fetch, putting down to 9. James is winning the life race.
Yeah, that's true.
Not necessarily by any of his doing.
Well, there's the whole theory behind the Weissman deck, which if you see more cards than your opponent, you're going to win the game, which I think is what Justin is going for in this particular case.
He definitely feels like he's in a good spot here. So that is a...
that's a clue, I believe.
Clue token, okay.
The green clue.
It is a clue. We have the mum in play now. So we've got... It's
it's a germ clue.
The germ clue. Don't look under that clue.
You could get infected.
Yep. So right now, the swords, you just have to
take the mum offline.
You just have to.
Happens. And so we can see here that with the chalices out of his main deck, James can bring in a few different of the one costs as well.
Once again, I stand by it. A swords in Justin's. If Justin had a swords in hand right now, he's pretty good.
So you're saying a sword in hand is worth 2 in the board?
I think so, yeah. I really do. I don't think there's a situation where you don't want a swords in this deck.
So we have seen a fetch land, get a red source.
Anyway, so Tiles Track is going to start getting quite big. Justin can start cracking clues if he wants to get a few more cards in the hand. James going to Punishing Fire the Tireless Tracker.
Yep, and he hasn't sacrificed any clues yet, so doesn't have a chance to grow that in response. So he fetches in response, gets a second clue, and then the Tireless Tracker dies.
Yep. Costs 2 mana to crack a clue.
Costs 2 mana to crack a clue, so and you get to draw a card.
Yep.
And Tireless Tracker has the ability +1/+1 if you sacrifice a clue. Doesn't have to be by paying the money. You can sacrifice it to an Eldrazi to get that same effect as well.
Oh, interesting. Good to know. So no life gain. So no Grover the Burnwillers on James' side of the table here. Neither in hand nor in the table. So not able to recur that Punishing Fire just yet.
Yeah, so there is the Swords to Plowshare, so you can
of course, yeah, that
technically do that, but James is off red mana at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, so he doesn't have the red.
And we can see...
So it looks like he's got... So what's he got in hand? He has a... So what has he got? A Green Sun Zenith, a Diamond, and a Horizon Canopy.
Yep.
On the other side of the table, Justin is...
Looking at the 3 cards on top of his library.
Yeah, I imagine he's not taking 4 here.
And at the moment, we're doing a little bit of a balancing act because we can grab some of those cards by cracking clues at the same time. So it's whether he wants those right away or whether he's just going to wait through the library. Yep. James inviting the attack.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like would be a bad play.
So gets rid of James's library, which also...
oh, it's a bog.
Yep, so removes a couple of different card types as well.
So the Brajuka Bog there demonstrating the... Is that main board from Justin?
That's the main board, both sides, just as
right.
Knight of the Reliquary target.
So the Goyf is now only a 3/4.
He's a 2/3 now.
3/4, right? Oh, Punishing Fire.
Punishing Fire just came back to hand and shrunk the Goyf a little bit
more.
So
now the Goyf is a 2/3.
It's a 2/3. Which means if he attacks into it with the Pride Mage...
And Green Sun Zenith for 3, it looks like.
Yep, so... simultaneously growing and shrinking.
So going to get a Knight of the Reliquary.
Knight of the Reliquary.
Yep.
And just having a quick look through his deck to see what other options he has here.
Yeah, Knight
despite being
fine.
in a fairly commanding board position, he is quite behind on life total after those couple of Sylvan Library activations.
The power of the card advantage and just demonstrating why Sylvan Library is so good. I mean, the extra cards he saw... it definitely put him in a very strong position.
Yep, and so we've got a Green Sun Zenith. He plays out the
Horizon
library.
Canopy, going to crack the Horizon Canopy, try and find
immediately
something relevant. It's a Green Sun Zenith, 2 Green Sun Zeniths in hand, it looks like. So we'll see what his line here is. It looks like he's going to crack a fetch.
Play a Green Sun Zenith, search for something.
Play Green Sun Zenith.
So the effect on Green Sun Zenith is not a maze, so you can't just accidentally leave it in your graveyard either to grow your Goyf.
Ah, right. Can't get sneaky.
Can't get sneaky.
It must go back into the library.
Yep. Even though it's competitive, if it gets left there, it's your fault.
Really?
Yeah, it stays there at competitive realm.
Yeah, because it's a beneficial trigger. Wow. Yeah, competitive's an interesting one. Competitive's an interesting one.
So with Green Suns, we find a Reclamation Sage, and we finally kill off the Sylvan Library. And now we're battling of the Knight versus the Goyf again. There is 3 lands in his graveyard at the moment, so that is a 5/5 versus still a 2/3.
Yeah. So James...
it's a 3/4 with an enchantment now in there.
Yes. So back to a 3/4. James looking at another... looks like he has another Green Sun Zenith in hand.
And we've got dice on both sides of the table just representing what these shifting creatures are on.
Yeah, dueling dice counters. Now, interesting, James does have the option in hand. He has a Mox Diamond, so he can actually play that Mox... He chose to just play it and actually not sacrifice it. Okay. So he did discard the land.
Yeah, so he just needed the mana that turn to make sure that he could do all of the things that he did.
Yep. Now, the Knight of the Reliquary is going to start getting big. The Goyf won't keep up.
No.
Unfortunately.
And at that point, it's almost worth wastelanding yourself just for the value you get out of that growth.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, just to go real big, real fast. James definitely with some very live draws though. Once again, a swords off the top, very relevant here. There's quite a few lines. There's quite a few cards in the deck that would be quite good for him right now. He's going to get wastelanded, which is
just not to attack with Knight of the Reliquary, and
so the Reliquary is now a 9/9, I do believe.
Yeah, and just
so it's an 8/8 on board, but with 9/9 with Exalted. Wow. So James looking for the Green Sun's got a lot worse. Losing 2 land that turn definitely hurt.
James really just looking for a way to push through those last points of damage. Like, if he can get in there with Tarmogoyf and hit, then that's almost definitely lethal. But at the same time, on the other side of the board, that Knight could very well just kill him.
Yeah, the Knight could very likely get big enough to simply kill him.
So we see a second library from James's side, third one of this game. And
so a Scrib Ranger...
We're just cracking a couple of clues there to draw some extra cards, just trying to build the card count back up.
Punishing Fire in hand. So it's a 9/9 if it swings in and doesn't get blocked. You go to 4. Punishing... it doesn't.
Okay.
Doesn't
so
quite
we see 2 land, one of which is a Karakas, a Punishing Fire, and a Green Sun Zenith.
So the Green Sun for Scrib Ranger, is that enough to kill him?
I believe the Scrib Ranger got boarded out. So we're not going to see that. He's just going to attack straight into the Goyf.
Yep.
And remove James's board presence.
Looks like James debating whether or not he wants to take that one. He's going to take it.
Yep, he just straight up takes it.
Recognising the only way he wins is with a creature in play. And, you're either winning or you're not. So
This is true. So I'm not sure if he has a way that he can deal with the Pride Mage or the Reclamation Sage, but we'll soon see that.
Yep. So it should be interesting.
So pays 1, sacrifices a library, which
don't think was necessary.
It's interesting.
It prevents...
If we see a Punishing Fire here, then Justin dies to the Goyf. So that would be the card James would want to see off the top. I'm not sure if he's got a way he can fetch with the Green Sun Zenith to kill it with the Rex Sage, but nope, Justin's just getting a second Knight of the Reliquary, so he's not going to be able to push that damage through in this case.
Yep. Knight, not a legendary creature, which is relevant.
That's is correct.
Otherwise, that would be a terrible play. Yep. So that is another 8/8. And I don't...
Slightly undercosted at 4 mana, but...
I don't believe there's any draws that James could possibly have here to get him out of this situation. There is going to be 2 8/8s coming at him.
Next turn.
And a 2/1 probably for good measure. I don't think there's too much he could be doing here.
It's a token effort from the Reclamation Sage.
Yeah. I'm helping. Me too.
And he's got a Punishing Fire in hand.
Yeah, right. So you could actually just kill him with the Rex Sage. So James...
Yeah, he could, but he would need to not block with the Goyf, obviously.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like you know something's up at that point if you only attack with the Rex Sage.
Okay, so James gets his own Knight. This one is a 6/6 for 4 mana this time.
Hold up, the Rex Sage is going to do it. So attack with both the Knights. Knight blocks one. Goyf blocks the other. Rex Sage gets through.
Well,
Punishing Fire you.
James is on 6 life at the moment, so he's not going to quite push through enough.
How do you gain 2 life?
5 life. That sounds better.
He was on 4, was he not?
Yeah, he gained 1 from the
from the
Grove activation.
Yeah, sure.
But just going to hit him with the 2 big ones in this case.
Yeah, look, he's
hold back 1 so that he can block one of the swing backs.
Yeah, hold back.
Nope, there we go.
Everyone gets in.
Swinging him with everything and Punishing Fire twice. Oh, no, okay.
Choosing that, I don't... why would you not attack with the Rex Sage?
Okay, so James' board disappears.
Yeah, attacking with the Rex Sage is free, right?
And we play a Deathrite. Yeah, I think it's free, but...
Okay.
I think he's got 2 Punishing Fires in hand, so I believe he just missed the win. But James draws dead and skips him up.
No,
anyway.
it doesn't matter anyway. Too much of a commanding position there. But yeah, I think attacking with the Rec Sage there is just free. Oh, anyways, so that is a well fought match between Justin and James there.
Making sure we're taking up.
Justin coming out on top. That's actually, I believe, was the last match of the round.
That's right, and we're just making sure that we use up our full round time with every video this time, making sure you get the most legacy action.
Yeah, got to get the maximum amount of legacy in, man. Like, geez, how often? So we have 20 players.
And we're just doing the standard 4 rounds of NMM, so no cuts or anything. We're just doing this one for fun because we can.
Yeah, why not? Anyways, we'll be back with round 3. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.